What's up guys, hope you're all having a pretty solid week so far. Now last time I made a commentary video was about Randy Pitchford, so today I wanted to switch gears a bit and talk about something slightly off topic but still very relevant to gaming, more specifically episodic games. Yep, the idea of breaking a game into chapters, releasing them over time, making you wait for the next patch. That's our topic today. Now before we dive in, let's clear one thing up. By episodic games, I don't just mean games with chapters that pause and resume. I mean games that are designed and released in discrete episodes or installments, a slice here, a slice there, rather than one big finished product. According to the definition, an episodic video game is a shorter length that is commercially released as an installment to a continuous and larger series. Episodic games differ from the conventional video games in that they often contain less content but are developed on a more frequent basis. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go into the good side of episodic games first, the positives, the things they bring, and then we're going to look at the dark side, the pitfalls, the frustrations, the bad business moves, because yes, like most things in gaming, there's a pretty big gray area. So first up, the positives. One of the biggest benefits of episodic games is that they reduce risk for developers and for players. It's much easier to swallow an episode 1 of a game than drop a huge full-scale game and hope it hits. According to one article, the episodic model mitigates risk around developing new concepts and thereby provides players with innovative games that might not otherwise get made. For players, that means, hey, maybe I'll just try a first episode and see how it goes, rather than committing full price for something that may flop. It lowers the barrier, smaller chunks, shorter play sessions, fewer upfront hours, all good if you're busy or want something lighter. Another benefit is that episodic games can keep you engaged over time. Instead of playing a game for 20 hours and then you're done forever, you play episode 1 now, episode 2 a few months later. You're still talking about it though, you're still invested, the game stays alive in your mind and in the community. That's a strong hook. Some argue this helps games avoid the play once never return problem. Also from a narrative standpoint, the episodic format can mimic the feel of a TV show. You finish one part, you get a cliffhanger, you're excited for the next. It can allow for pacing, for story beats, for character development in a way one big drop can't always manage. And from the developer side, smaller episodes means faster turnaround, more frequent feedback loops, potential to pivot or adjust based on response. So you might see early episodes, players give feedback, and later episodes can improve. That sounds great in principle. The concept of you don't have to wait for years for the next game is appealing. So yes, these are legit advantages. If done well, episodic gaming can offer innovation, pacing, story focus, and keep players engaged longer. But now for the dark side of episodic games. Here's where it starts to get messy, because for all the promise, episodic games frequently deliver heartbreak, frustration, and half-finished feelings. One major issue is waiting. Waiting between episodes can kill momentum. You finish episode 1, end on a big cliffhanger, you're ready for episode 2. And then you wait months. By the time it rolls around, you might have moved on, the hype is gone, the story you remember is fuzzy, so the episodic format can backfire if schedule and execution are weak. Another problem is scope creep or development chaos, where you release episodes, players expect the next one to top the last. Budgets might get cut, or the dev team changes, or something shifts. Episodes might feel inconsistent, that leads to a feeling of, we paid for part 1, but the later parts are weak or gone. In the r/game dev subreddit, I found a post of a dev behind a game called A Sky Full of Ghosts, who said that they originally planned to release the game episodically, thinking it would suit their small 2-person team balancing full-time jobs and families. However, after completing episode 0 and showcasing the game at GeekFest West, Seattle Indies Expo, they realized the episodic model posed major issues. Ultimately, they decided the story would be better as one complete experience, so they scrapped the episodic format and will release the game as a full standalone game. Then there's the business angle, monetization temptations, and some episodic games use the format as the way to drip content and change chunk by chunk. If players feel like they're paying 5 times for what should have been one game, resentment builds. For instance, the model of buy episode 1 now for $5, buy episode 2 later for $5 can feel nibbling away at your wallet. Another angle, because episodes are smaller and cheaper individually, there might be less content per release, meaning the experience can feel shallow or padded. Plus, and this is big, completion anxiety. You start episode 1, you wait for episode 2, you're invested. But what if episode 3 never comes out? What if the studio cancels the series midway? It happens more than you think. You're left with the story that goes nowhere, unanswered threats, frustrated fans. Look, episodic games are not inherently bad, but they're a high risk. They require strong scheduling, good communication, consistent quality, and realistic expectations. Without that, it's a recipe for disappointment. Alright, so here's how I see it. I think episodic gaming is a cool idea, a worthy experiment. If you think of games like a TV show with seasons rather than movies, there's promise. You're not just, here's 20 hours of a game then done. You're, here's 5 hours now, come back for more. That's fine, and if done well, I'll buy it in a heartbeat. But too many times it feels like a half-cocked business scheme. You buy episode 1, you're hyped, you invest your time, you want more. Then either episode 2 is delayed forever, or episode 3 is weaker, or price adds up. You feel like you got baited, and that sucks. But let's put it this way. I spent like 4 hours or 5 hours on a game, thinking yes, this is great. Then I'm left waiting 8 months for the next part. By then, I forgot what I did. I forgot who that weird side character was. My memory's gone. I'm like, do I even care? That's the death of engagement right there. And to top it all off, sometimes the studio simply vanishes. Also, from a design perspective, splitting a game into episodes can sometimes kill the connection. What if the first piece is designed for 5 hours, and then they stretch the second piece to 8 hours, and then the third piece only 3 hours because dev time got squeezed? It feels patchy, and when you end up playing the whole thing back to back, you feel the seams. It's not seamless, it feels disjointed. Another thing, the pricing strategy. If episode 1 costs $10 and episode 2 $10, episode 3 is $10, then there might be a season pass or a complete edition later at $30 or $40. That's fine, but when you buy episode 1 for $15 and then $15 for episode 2, you're basically paying full game price, but you have to wait to play. That's frustrating. And the fan expectations, they're huge. If you nail episode 1, players expect episode 2 to top it. If it doesn't, disappointment. If you tank, then you risk losing your audience. So episodic games are actually more risky than single release games in some ways. So yeah, that's where I land on episodic games. I'm pro idea, cautious about execution. I think they're an important part of the gaming ecosystem, especially for narrative-driven games, indie devs, and stories where you want to build momentum. But we as players need to be aware of the pitfalls, delays, incomplete stories, chunked up content, pricing that doesn't match value. If you're thinking of buying an episodic game, do a quick check. Is it from the team that has delivered before? Do they even have a schedule? Is the price per episode reasonable given the content? How many episodes are there in total? Are you comfortable waiting? These are good questions. At the same time, developers, if you're going episodic, commit to the schedule, commit to the quality each episode, communicate with players, don't treat it like a series of micro sales, because if you mismanage it, the trust disappears fast. And as for us players, let's enjoy one game that gets it right. They're out there, but also don't hesitate to call bullshit when a game uses episodic as an excuse for half-finished content or endless waiting, because yeah, we deserve better. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about episodic games. Thank you so much for watching until the end. It means a lot. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the discussion, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts and feelings. Do you like episodic games? Have you been burned by one? Which one do you think nailed it? I'll try to give them a read. Keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.